forest for their livelihoods. In Guyana, deforestation rates have been historically always very low, and we commend Guyana for these tremendous efforts to maintain a near zero deforestation. But we must acknowledge that the booming economy could potentially disrupt traditional livelihoods, and due to increased economic activity, pressure on forests, rivers, and oceanic ecosystems will intensify. At the same time, and despite the immense natural resource wealth that characterizes a forest, not everyone is able to generate a sufficient income. Remote and small communities offer few job opportunities and push local communities towards unsustainable exploitation of natural resources, with potentially severe consequences for forest biodiversity and ecosystem services. The European Union has made sustainable forest management the one and only focus in its new bilateral cooperation with Guyana. Fully in line with Guyana's own low-carbon development strategy, we aim to support Guyana's ambition to preserve and enhance the sustainable development role of forest as a key asset, also signaled, of course, by Honourable President Ali. This project is also a flagship project of the EU's Global Gateway strategy. Through Global Gateway, the EU is investing in smart, clean and sustainable connections across the globe to boost trade, strengthen value chains and expand economic opportunities for the EU and for our partners. Global Gateway stands for connections that work for people and for the planet to tackle the most pressing global challenges, from climate change and protection of the environment to improving health security and boosting competitiveness in global supply chains. I'm therefore very proud to celebrate this project as part of our Global Gateway flagships. Guyana is the only country in the world which the EU has signed both the Forest Law Enforcement Governance and Trade Voluntary Partnership Agreement, what we call FLECT, and the Forest Partnership Memorandum of Understanding. And that is really a very important factor, the only country in the world. Both were signed last year at the COP27 for climate and COP15 for biodiversity. And it shows the EU's commitment towards a coherent partnership with Guyana on forest preservation and the sustainable use of forest resources. We will continue with this support. With the project we are launching today, we aim to increase the resilience of local forest populations, increasing their value added, notably through the development of sustainable income generation activities. And I can only highlight once again how important it is to work together with the local communities in the forest to make sure that this is sustainable also in their environment. With the support of the French Development Agency, Agence Francaise de Développement, AFD, and through the work that will be done through the World Wildlife Foundation Guyanas, this project will provide support to local forest communities to increase knowledge, capacity, and for the use of and supply of nature-based goods and services. It will also provide and improve skills, working practices, equipment, as well as market links and access to finance. The project will also support alternative livelihoods in forest-dependent communities in order to reduce pressure on forest resources. Through market research, analysis of market opportunities, we aim to ensure that these projects and initiatives are economically viable. The project will provide the means, the tools, the resources, and capacity building to be able to deploy new skills and capacities, both within wood value chains and in alternative livelihoods and intervention, such as ecotourism or agroforestry. A few words on our implementing agencies. implementation of the project is done by AFD, as I mentioned before, as one of the supporting agencies. It's an EU member state organization, and it's part of the Amazon Basin Initiative. As a member states organization, AFD will promote and maximize the Team Europe spirit, the way we work together among EU member states and the EU institutions in both these countries. The EU is stronger together, and with the handover of the project today, we launch a project which is very strong in both EU values and EU expertise. The World Wildlife Foundation Guyanas will be an important partner as well, It is present in both countries and has implemented various actions in the forestry sector and has very expanded experience in working with forest communities. This project came to the fruition after intense months of discussions with local partners to ensure that we create impactful projects. We will continue these strong dialogues with government agencies and the communities on the ground during the inception phase, which will also enable us to develop concrete activities that matter for these communities. Rest assured that we are aware of Guyana's eagerness to get this project off the ground as quickly as possible, and we will work in each country at its required pace. We thank very much the government of Guyana, AFD, and WWF Guyanas again for their commitment, cooperation, and readiness to embark together with the EU in this extremely important endeavor that will ultimately benefit the local forest communities, both in Guyana and Suriname. We look very much forward, Excellency, to our continued collaboration and are very eager to see the successful outcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Connet. I now invite Your Excellency, President Dr. Finale, to make a statement.
Thank you very much. First, I would like to thank Ms. Helena Connet for being here in Guyana to launch this initiative. We have held discussions this morning, and I'm pleased by the continuing interest and support of the European Union in Guyana's development, and not only Guyana's development, but the region's development. We welcome also the involvement of the French Development Agency and the World Wildlife Fund, who are partnering in this initiative. Partnerships are absolutely essential to addressing global challenges and also to attending to local developmental concerns. This initiative is essential to our own efforts at creating a low-carbon economy and to supporting sustainable livelihoods at a local level. I'm confident of the success of this initiative. Guyana, as you know, our forests are part of our national patrimony. The forest is rich with priceless biodiversity and abundant freshwater supplies. The forests are also the home of hundreds of communities whose inhabitants rely on the forest for their livelihoods, including their food, traditional medicine, culture, their livelihood, social and economic empowerment. So in Guyana, we have, over the years, found a very delicate balance in the development and advancement of these communities in the context of sustainable forestry management. We should not ever undervalue our contribution and our record in terms of deforestation rate. That is not by accident. That is by deliberate planning, deliberate policy, and a strong understanding of the role of forests in today's environment and in the fight on climate change. We are not only speaking about Guyana forests today. Guyana is working to provide global leadership on sustainable forest management, but more importantly, on the utilization of the potential of the forests for the transformation of countries by creating a social, economic, sustainable model that values this important natural, national, and global asset. And that is an important part of our policy formulation in relation to the forests. As you know, our forests, when deployed in protecting the world's environment, stores more than 19.5 gigatons of carbon. Every year, this forest removes 154 million tons of carbon dioxide from the atmosphere. The forest provides vital ecosystem and environmental services to the world. So our forest is not just standing trees. It is an important global asset that provides global services. And in the provision of those global services, it is only fair that the forest earns for the country and its people who ensure that it stays intact in support of those global services. We are therefore very pleased to join the European Union and the AFD and WWF Guyanese in creating this important partnership to safeguard forests while sustaining forest livelihoods. A comprehensive approach to develop and sustaining Guyana's vast and pristine natural resources has been a cornerstone of Guyana's development and my government's vision for One Guyana. Guyana and the European Union have been lasting partners, working together to advance this vision and to enhance the role of Guyana's forests in sustainable and inclusive national development. And I want to thank the European Union for their strong, relentless support for us and forested countries. This cooperation agreement that underpins this partnership agreement we are signing today was initialed at the UFCCC COP27 meeting in Egypt in November last year. I'm very pleased that we are advancing this process to implementation so quickly after the initialing of the country's agreement. And I think that we should all congratulate all the stakeholders for advancing this process very efficiently and in a very timely fashion. In December 2022, Guyana has renewed its country agreement with WWF Guyanese to the year 2025. And among the areas of cooperation with this agreement are actions on supporting community livelihood opportunities within forest-based communities in Guyana. This partnership with ADF and WWF is underpinned by a focus on what works, moving to create practical solutions to development challenges, and addressing the vital role that forests play in overcoming these challenges. Sustainable livelihoods sit at the heart of this endeavor, as when we create the opportunities for people for economic advancement and social upliftment, we provide them with resources to make decisions to safeguard the environment and protect the forests. Like the European Union, Guyana has long focused on the search for these practical solutions. We were the first developing country in the world to produce a low-carbon development strategy, a LCDS, back in 2008. This year, our LCDS, last year, our LCDS was updated to set out a vision to 2030 and sets out how forests and biodiversity can be maintained whilst the country expands green industry and create jobs, transitions our domestic energy supply to clean and renewable energy source, and adapt to the impact of climate change. LCDS 2030 is a document and a strategy that is alive. It is a thinking strategy. It is a working strategy. It is a strategy that embraces our external challenges, our internal strengths and weaknesses, and outline a clear path for sustainable development in Guyana. So the LCDS 2030 addresses the global significance of Guyana's forests. This covers a great part of what the LCDS 2030 strategy is about. Last year, when we signed a joint forest partnership between Guyana and the EU at the 27th meeting of the conference of the UNFCCC, there was a collective and resounding call for the developed world to show solidarity and commitment to fight against climate change and to foster climate resilience. More so, there was a call to move beyond the rhetoric of supporting climate program at the community level and to translate this into meaningful action on the ground. Guyana applauds, therefore, the program of the EU in its green agenda that is bringing action to commitment. Moreover, Guyana compliments WWF and ADF for bringing this partnership to life and soon supporting the advancement of sustainable livelihood opportunities within forested communities. Guyana looks to provide a practical example to the world on how the environment, forests, freshwater, and biodiversity in particular must be safeguarded to sustain mankind and life as we know it. We also look to develop new ways of incentivizing the global fight to safeguard forests. The main actions identified to be advanced by this cooperation will look to strengthen sustainable livelihoods in forest communities and enhance knowledge and capacity for sustainable use and supply of nature-based goods and services. I've spoken on many occasions on the importance of development of ecotourism and further processed forestry products, and recognizing the economic opportunities that these have for forest-based communities while promoting conservation and sustainable use of forest resources. We expect that this agreement will support initiatives such as these in areas including marketing, capacity building to ensure that they are carried out in a sustainable and socially responsible manner. Moreover, all actions that are carried out under the project are expected to be done in close coordination with national institutions and local partners so that we can maximize the benefits of significant resources already invested at the community level. We therefore look forward for a meaningful role of the National Tushau's Council and other national bodies in support of this initiative. Just a few weeks ago, the benefits sharing mechanism on the Guyana Carbon Credit Financing Program was rolled out in the Amerindian community, and US $22.5 million was disbursed across 242 communities in amongst of Guyana $10 million to $35 million, depending on population. These payments will continue over the coming years as Guyana engages the voluntary carbon market. We would expect that this project complement the initiatives already outlined by villages in the village sustainable plans so that we do not duplicate efforts. Villages have already outlined their village sustainability plan, and we want to complement those plans. We want to augment those plans. And that this is done in close alignment to the low carbon development strategy, of which this is a part. And working with the Guyana Forestry Commission, Ministry of Natural Resources, and the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs. We expect for these resources to add value to this program and complement existing plans that are being implemented. So in short, this is a partnership based on solving problems between parties who do not shy away from taking on difficult challenges. I am pleased to reaffirm Guyana's commitment to this partnership and look forward to the next 4 years of this project being implemented as we work on making progress together. I thank you, I thank the EU and all those who worked tremendously hard to get us this far and wish the project well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Ms. Koenig, I now invite you, our guests, and the members of the media to witness the handing over of the contract between His Excellency Dr. Irfan Ali and the Deputy Secretary General of the European Action Service, Helena Koenig.